Hey there and welcome back to Move with Joe. In today's video we're going to be addressing issues with limited mobility in the fingers and wrist and forearm. Limited range of motion and overuse can lead to painful conditions such as tennis elbow, golfer elbow, carpal tunnel, general wrist pain, and ganglion cysts, to name a few. But this begs the question, why do people develop problems with the elbows, wrists, and finger pain? So the risk factors include repetitive work tasks, such as typing, hammering, lifting, any type of repetitive fine motor skills of the hand, as well as other activities that we participate in, sports such as golf or tennis or playing an instrument. In this video, I'm going to show you a wrist mobility routine to build more range of motion, strength, and elasticity of the soft tissues for the fingers, wrists, and forearms. So let's get started. To begin, we'll start with clockwise and counterclockwise wrist circles and standing. You can have your elbows by your side, and you're just taking the wrist through a gentle range of motion, not forcing anything, just getting them warmed up. And here you can do a set of anywhere from 10 to 20. Next, interlace your hands and we'll begin to do circles with the hands fixed to each other. So again, you can take the movement into clockwise, counterclockwise, and it's almost as if you're making this figure 8 movement with the wrists. And you can do this again anywhere from 10 to 20 reps. Next, we'll do some waves. So this is again working more with just flexion extension, but also just the fluidness of working through the forearms into the wrists and fingers. So this is going to be working on the forearm flexors, so the muscles that attach to the medial epicondyle and come down into the palm, into the fingers, so they flex the wrist as well as flex the fingers. You can come onto your hands and knees, palms to the ground. You want your fingers spread, and you're just going to begin to rock your weight up onto your hands, and you can start off nice and light. You don't even have to go to neutral with the shoulders directly over the wrists yet. And as you come forward, you want to round the elbows out so that the elbow crease is pointing forward. So as you come forward, you can start to bring your weight farther forward, and you should be feeling a nice stretch through this part of the wrist here. So I like to do about 20 of these to get warmed up. And again, this is just a nice active stretch. We're not taking it into its end range. We're not forcing it into anything that's uncomfortable. We're just warming and prepping the joint. At the end, if you want to hold for a little longer, you can. You can also press down with your fingers. That will give a little bit added stretch as you'll be contracting the finger flexors. Good. So another one that you can do to work the forearm flexors is you can start with your hands pointing out away from you. And you can just slowly start working them back towards pointing the fingers towards your body. And then you can walk them back. Again, so this is just gentle, easy, warming it up. Only go as far as it's comfortable. Coming back. So you can do a set of maybe 10 of these. That's good. All right, so the next one you can do is start to take your body to the right and left. And again, we're still working the forearm flexors. As I shift my weight over my right hand, it's stretching the flexors here of the forearm and wrist. Just getting slightly different angles in these different stretches that we're doing. Okay, good. So the next muscle group that we're going to work are the forearm extensors. And so this one, we're going to start off with a closed fist. The more weight you have towards your heels, the less weight you're going to have on your wrists. So if your wrists are particularly sensitive or you don't have a lot of strength yet, you can bring your wrists closer into yourself and do the movement from here. If you do have the mobility and strength, you can bring them farther away from your knees. So what we'll begin to do is we'll roll the wrist down to open the palm, and the goal is to get the forearm, the ulna and radius, to be down to the floor and then back. So simple opening and closing. And if you can try and keep the elbows locked out. If you can't keep the elbows locked out, you could bend the elbows to bring it all the way down. But ideally, we're maintaining the elbows pretty locked out, and you should be feeling a really good stretch right through these extensor muscles here. So the extensor muscles are the muscles that are involved with tennis elbow. They attach into the lateral epicondyle. So if you're experiencing pain in the lateral part here, this is a good stretch to lengthen those extensor muscles. All right. So the next one is called a finger push-up. So these are specifically more targeting the finger flexors. This is a great one if you're a climber like me who's using a lot of grip strength. I also end up using a lot doing body work. So my finger flexors tend to get really tight. And so here you're going to keep your fingers on the floor and you're going to extend your palm up. And so you can see as I begin to extend my palm up, I don't have that much flexibility in this range. Some people can get all the way to 90 degrees. So that's our goal, is to be able to get to that range. But again, you're just moving in a comfortable range, an active range. And you can do 10 to 20 of these. Each time bringing the palm back down, lifting it up. Next, we'll do a movement to work on the lateral deviation. So we have ulnar deviation. This is the ulnar bone here, and we have radial deviation for the radius. So it is this movement, ulnar deviation, radial deviation. And to do that, we're going to fix our wrists on the floor again. Thumbs pointing away, but you can have them tucked in. And we're simply going to keep our elbows locked out and begin to roll the wrist into ulnar and radial deviation. So we're working this lateral plane of movement through the wrists. And if you want, you can put a little bit more weight into it by stacking yourself more over top. If that's uncomfortable, you can bring the weight back. I hope you enjoyed today's video on wrist and finger mobility. Please leave a comment, tell me what you thought. If you have any questions in terms of what I was talking about with golfer elbow or tennis elbow, feel free to put it in the comment section. Until next time, keep staying active, keep staying healthy. Hit the like and subscribe button, and there will be more videos coming at you soon.